What's up, fam? All right, let's set this up for you guys. Today I am going over actually I'm going to give you a bonus, surprise, a bonus tip for back tension. So I've been talking a lot about back tension this week. People coming to me, letting me know that they're having back tension when they're holding their babies. People coming to me and telling me that, you know, if they're standing in one position doing work for an extended period of time, they have back pain, you know, or back tension. And so just want to kind of give you my top 4 and then also kind of a postural recommendation for people. Like, this is if everybody knew this a little bit better, it would make my job easier and your life so much better. So yeah, so let's get into it. Let's talk about the 4 things that I would typically do to either prevent or counter if I have back tension, whether it's I'm holding or doing something for an extended period of time in a day, or because, you know, I'm bending over more in a day. You know, these are things that I will do to reduce back tension. So let's get into them. So the first one is going to be a cat and cow. So this one is, again, just as, you know, these are all super simple. Something you can do regularly. So what I like to do is arch my back and try and round my low back as much as I can by tucking my tail between my knees, holding it for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then reversing. What's great is you get a nice stretch and a core activation with the arching, and then when you go down, you're using those muscles to reinforce confidence. Sweet. Next, some dissociation work I do. So I put a ball on my low back. Gotta get a nice neutral spine. If you're rounded, it's gonna roll up, roll off. If you're extended too much, it's gonna roll up. You wanna have a nice neutral spine. I like having my toes on the ground, and then we're gonna hip hinge, keeping your back neutral as you go up and forward and back. Now the ball shouldn't move much. If you're extending your low back, again, it's gonna go up, so you gotta keep your core tight. When you get down here, you're sitting into those hip muscles, and I like to push out at my knees to engage my glutes to help me bring myself back up. And again, that kind of just dissociates the hips from the spine and the pelvis. A lot of times people will want to round their back and they lose the ball. So the key is not to lose the ball. All right, next we're gonna do a hip flexor stretch. So what I like to do is I like to, again, tuck my tail, drop my ribs, and just bring my hips forward a little bit. You don't need to go very far. You're gonna feel a nice stretch in the front of your thigh and hip. We're gonna hold this for about 45 seconds. At this point, you know, as we hold this, I'll just talk to you about, you know, I made a comment about cookies earlier this last week, and excited to say that I made some really awesome peppermint white chocolate cookies. If you want the recipe, let me know. I'd be happy to share it. Most of it, because it is an ultra secret recipe, and I'm really proud of my cookies. But yeah, anyway. All right, so yeah, so you want to do that on both sides, holding it for about 45 seconds. I didn't quite count or look at the time. But yeah, that's gonna help stretch out those hip flexors, which attach to the front of your spine, and you know, take you out of that kind of forward tilted pelvis. All right, so then the last one is gonna be to kind of activate my core. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna be at the back. Ooh, ah. All right, you're gonna have your knees up in the air, hips at about a 90-degree angle, toes pointed towards your head, and you're going to gently push up on your thighs. You're gonna push up on your thighs, and what you should feel is your core muscles activate. If you feel your hip flexors activate, what that means you're doing is you're pushing too hard on your thighs. So you wanna keep your chin tucked, your ribs down, and you wanna gently push up towards the ceiling and ever so slightly towards your toes. And you may start to shake. What you wanna do is you wanna kind of hold it until that shaking stops. And then maybe, you know, hold it for 6 to 10 seconds and then relax. And I would do that for a total of about a minute or 2. And so what that's doing is it's activating your core muscles. So when you're standing, they're nice and active, but also it helps turn off your back muscles. There's a cool thing in our body where if you activate one side of the body, it's actually going to relax the other part of your body. So for this case, if you activate your core, it calms down your back. Similarly, like if you activate your quads, it helps your hamstrings relax a little bit and you're able to move a little bit better. All right, so last thing I'm gonna talk about is posture. I alluded to it in the live recently. Hello, you're going for a ride. And I'm just gonna, all right. So posture, a lot of times we want to be in this proud position. Chest high, superhero position, butt squeezed, back slightly extended. And what I want to tell you, and I tell a lot of my patients, is that this posture is going to promote back tension. That's because we're using a lot of your back muscles. Your core muscles are stretched out, so you're not able to use them. So especially for you new mamas who want to kind of tighten your core, if you're worried about the extra space that you created with having your baby, you want to kind of tighten it in, stick your chest out, stick your butt out, and try and feel thin. I'm telling you, it's okay to slouch. I want you to first let your tail down. So you got a tail up in the air here, you're gonna let that tail down. So pretend you have a peacock tail, it's up in the air, and we're gonna let it down to the ground. We're not forcing it, we're just letting it down. Next, what you're gonna do is you're gonna let your ribs slouch until you see where you tie your shoes, and then you're gonna just push your pelvis forward and squeezing your butt muscles. And so you're nice and supported, using your hips. In this slouched position, you're using your belly muscles and your back should relax. Now, for me here, it shows that I have a little bit of neck, forward neck, rounded shoulders. So what I need to do is bring my head up and then, so I shrug, rotate, and set my shoulders. And so now I'm in a nice tall position that's not overextended and puffy chest, and I'm not using my belly. Now I'm able to use my belly, my butt, I got my shoulder blades engaged, and I'm in a good natural position. So then it's trying to stay there and trying to move from there. So, going forward, learning how to squat, learning how to walk, and keeping that good posture. So anyway, hope that was helpful for you guys. I hope to bring you many, many more of these going forward. Please comment what you learned today, comment how you feel if you've done these, and then also comment any or message me any requests. Next week I'm going to be talking about pelvic floor information. Again, a couple more people requesting that, they're wondering about pelvic floor information and how to best attack that and make sure that they're doing the right thing and understand kind of how to use it. And yeah, I'm gonna give you all that information next week. So tune in, and I'll see you then. Oh, actually, I'll see you tomorrow on the live with Allison Willett. Can't wait.